Hello there, welcome to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, reviews and oft-times reminisces. This is my first ever video and hopefully one of many of Mac's mumbled musings on musical matters. By way of an introduction, I thought I'd take on a bit of a musical journey on how I got from this, and bear with me here because this isn't my forte. How I got from this to this. Let me tell you, slick and professional are my middle names. Anyway, it was a long and winding road. A bit of blood was spilt on the way, but far more beer. I thought I'd pick 4 pivotal songs that best exemplified how I went down that road and how I got to where I am now. So let's not mess about. What we're waiting for, let's go. So imagine, if you will, 13-year-old boy floundering in the sea of dross musically, waiting for that raft to come to lift me up and take me to musical paradise. There's some songs I'd heard that, were all right, they weren't great, and the nascent UK punk scene was building momentum, and there were songs there that I thought were really good. However, it wasn't until I heard this one that that pivot occurred, where I went cantering off at a tangent away from where most people's musical taste went, and racing down that rocky road to God knows where. We know now, but at the time, who knew? So let's crack on and listen to The Damned. Neat, neat, neat. This is a short song. I don't really want to stop it too often, but we are describing my musical journey, and so there will be some stopping, not too much, I hope. But anyway, I have to mention that intro, that caveman bass followed by somebody lighting a fire, pouring petrol on it, which is that guitar intro. Remember, I was 13 years old at that time, and it was 45 years ago. Good grief. And I'd heard nothing like it. Coupled with the fact that testosterone was building in my body, and the only shapes I was interested in geometry lessons was the various forms of a semicircle, shall we say. And so hearing that just grabbed me, and if it didn't grab anybody else, then I guess they didn't really have a heart pumping blood through the body. Fret not though, we'll listen to that again without interruption for the time being. Memories. I guess the reason I like this song so much, particularly in relation to everyone's other favourite, which is New Rose, I guess, at that time, anyway, for that period of time, is the dynamics. The verse there, it's got lots of space. You've got that driving but subtle bass, insistent, but it's not too intrusive. And Mr. Scabies being relatively subtle with his drum work. And of course, then it leads into that rambunctious chorus, short and to the point. I keep looking at the album cover and thinking that probably looks like my bedroom did at the time, but we'll not go there. So yes, it's just that counterplay between it's not particularly calm, but the holding back a wee bit, and then they go fully for the chorus. What more could you want, eh? Sorry, I've got to mention the solo there. Really, I'm not big on solos, to be honest, and never really have been. But when you hear one that does grab you, then you've got to appreciate them. And I guess the reason I want to make a comment now is that looking back, the Damned were probably the only band that could fire in a solo like that. There were probably others, but if you want to, take a general look at it, and thinking of, you wouldn't say competitors, but the big hitters of the time. If you thought Sex Pistols or the Clash, then they didn't turn out solos like that, and it doesn't really matter that they didn't. But for me, this when it comes to musing upon my favourite band of the period, of the mainstream ones, I guess. This is why the Damned are head and shoulders above the Clash and Sex Pistols and any of the more mainstream punk bands at the time. You just get goosebumps, or I do, listening to this song. Every time is a delight, and I've said 45 years, and it still makes me go ooh, Whoops. Yes, there you go. 2.5 minutes of pure, unadulterated joy for me. Again, look back to the time this came out, and we have faster and heavier stuff now, but which we'll get to at some point, but not today. You can't really choose the music that sends you a certain way. It chooses you, and this one was, as I say, one of the pivots, which is the reason I'm discussing it. It sort of took me away from where you'd expect. I mean, let's face it, before this, all I'd really heard was Top of the Pops, and you have to be a certain age perhaps to realise what that means, and the exposure to my mum's classical music, which thankfully didn't really take hold. Don't like it, never have, never will. The Damned at that time were one of those bands that didn't take themselves too seriously, and were a fun band within that movement. Other bands had a political statement or an antisocial statement or a statement about something. The band, The Damned even, weren't too heavy on that. They were more entertainment, I guess, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, than the more philosophical or harder thinking bands. And let's face it, 13 years of age, I didn't really want to hear about politics or social injustices too much. That comes later on, and at that age, all I wanted was joy and fun, and The Damned gave it in buckets. So there you go. That's the first milestone on the musical journey we're going to go through. There's more to come, and let me just say, things are about to get a little bit more serious. See you next time.